As a homeowner, there are certain things that you need to know how to do that can save you a ton of money. And as you see, I have a special guest in the house with me today. Scott, how are you doing?
Good.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name's Scott. I work for Milestone Home Services, and I'm the director of plumbing, but I'm actually a master electrician. I used to work in the electrical department as well.
So, man, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Number one, plumbing. I'm going to give you one big tip that I think every homeowner should know how to do. And now that you deal with plumbing too, I think you'll agree, know how to change the flapper on your toilet or even rebuild your toilet. That's a call that we used to get a lot. It's like, my toilet's running. And deep in my mind, I'm thinking, look, this is a very simple repair. It's not a lot of parts. But guys, unfortunately, when I have to send a plumber out or when Scott has to send a plumber out, you've still got, you've got a warehouse on wheels pulling up. You've got people in it that you're having to pay. You've got fuel, service, tires, all the stuff that it costs us to keep that vehicle running. And you're tying up a licensed plumber and possibly an apprentice with him to come out and fix a problem when they could be doing something else. And to be honest, this is something you should know how to do. Now, I've made other videos here on the YouTube channel teaching people how to fix their own toilet, how to rebuild it, how to stop a running toilet guaranteed. Is that a call y'all get quite often?
Very regular call.
And it's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
There's not a lot to the toilet.
Yeah, and it's almost a lose-lose because the price that you have to charge when you get out there to fix something very simple is not what people want to pay for it. So,
not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so electrical wise, what is one of the biggest problems that you get a call for that's like, man, if homeowners just knew this, it'd be something they could probably handle themselves?
Number one, smoke detector chirping, which is telling you it needs a new battery most of the time. And you wouldn't believe how many times we get calls of customers calling in and my smoke detector's chirping, call an electrician. Or sometimes it gets going off and you're like, well, why was electrical the first choice? Why wasn't fire department?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's normally telling you something.
Right.
Well, I didn't smell any smoke, so I called y'all instead.
And so that one there, knowing how to actually properly change a battery in a smoke detector. I know that sounds weird, but there actually is a proper way to do that, and steps that you can take so that when you put the new one in, it'll stop chirping.
Okay, so is it something you can go through quickly or?
Yeah. So when you take the smoke detector, most people will just pop the little door on the side and they'll put a new battery in and slam it shut and we're good to go. Well, actually, that smoke detector has to be drained of any of its energy after you take the battery out. So you'd actually have to disconnect the smoke detector from the wiring harness, take the battery out, and then hold the button down. You actually hear it kind of squeal a little bit, and that's it draining all the power. Put the new battery in, close the door, connect it, put it back up.
Such great advice. Okay, now back to plumbing. Another big one is how to turn the water off at your house. Say you've got kids horsing around like me and my brother used to do, and somebody breaks the toilet. Now you've got water flooding everywhere. Number one, can you turn off the angle stop? Maybe, maybe not. If you hadn't serviced it or cycled it, man, that's another thing. Learn to go through and cycle all your valves. That way you know which ones work. But know where your water meter is. Know where your valve in the front yard is. Know how to turn off the water at your house, because that is something a lot of people don't even know how to do, how to turn the water off at their house. And the reason this is such a big deal, when I was a kid, I remember coming home one day after school, and we had converted our garage into a living room. So I came in, I made the corner, and I stepped down in the garage, and I was in about 6 inches of water. I thought it was freaking cool. So, man, I'm playing in the water and having fun walking around in the living room, and I go call mom and say, hey, mom, guess what, man? There's water in the living room. She said, turn off the water. It's like, how do I do that? So, and she didn't even know. So this is something I teach every homeowner that's really a big deal. Know how to turn the water off at your house. Do you know where your meter is? Do you know if you have a valve box out front? Do you know if you have a valve in the garage, or maybe you've got a cabinet you can open and just shut the valve? But knowing how to turn off the water at your house should be something that not just you know, but anybody else. And this is something that is great. Homeowners need to learn a little bit about plumbing and electrical, and that's one thing that can really help them.
Absolutely.
Scott, have you got anything else that homeowners should know how to do themselves that are really pretty easy to do?
Yeah, we've got GFIs. So for layman's terms, it's the outlet in your kitchen or in your garage or in your bathroom that either has a light on it or a reset button. A lot of times those trip and we get phone calls for that, and it's for the simplest things. One of the easiest way, and I get this from friends of mine that call me, is go ahead and reset it, unplug everything that might be plugged into any of the outlets associated with it, and then try resetting it. It could just be as simple as a toaster's causing it to trip. It could be you have something plugged in on the front porch that got wet that's causing the garage one to trip. There's a lot of things that go into it that if you just do a small little process of elimination, you could probably avoid having to call a licensed person out and charging you money that you don't want to spend on something so simple.
And that's crazy, but you said something there that really struck with me because I had that problem. You said unplug everything from the GFCI, but also the other outlets it's associated with.
Right.
So explain that, because literally I didn't have power to a tea maker or something, and I look at it and it's not a GFCI, so I'm not really worried about it. And GFCI, GFI, same thing.
Yep, same thing.
Ground fault circuit interrupter or ground fault interrupter.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So explain what the associated outlets are, because man, I had to figure that out and it really messed me up.
So just real easy on the in the kitchen, you're either going to have a breaker that's a GFCI. On a newer home, most likely it will be a breaker. You won't actually see the outlet in the kitchen. On a home built 2015 and older, you're going to see the outlet itself in the kitchen. All the kitchen outlets that are on the countertop are controlled by the GFCI. All the bathroom outlets are controlled by a GFCI, and then all the outdoor and garage outlets, anywhere that they would consider electricity coming into contact with water. So countertop plugs, garage, outdoor plugs, and all your outdoor plugs are actually tied onto your garage GFCI most of the time. I say 99% of the time, that's where the GFCI for the outdoor outlets is in the garage. And that's one that we get called out, especially around Christmas.
And that one really pissed me off because when I fired up my smoker, I have an electric smoker, fired that up one day and it went out, and I'm out there messing with it. Yeah, GFCI, but I was able to figure it all out. Great information. So know how to rebuild a toilet, know how to turn the water off at your house, know how to change the battery in a smoke detector the right way, and GFCIs. Know how to trip them, test them, reset them, do that whole 9 yards, and that's going to save you a lot of money. So Scott, man, thank you for being here. I appreciate this. Such great information. These are things homeowners need to know. These are things new homeowners need to know. And if it's your first time renting a house, a condo, a house, an apartment, anything at all like that, you're going to have some of these issues. And you may not be able to turn the water off to your particular unit, or you may, but knowing how to do these different things, this is going to make your life amazing. And if you hadn't seen it, I recently shot a video about all the tools that you need in your bag or your drawer or your cardboard box, wherever you keep them, so you have the things you need to help you around the house and will come in handy in situations like this. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You're at Milestone, and if you realize that you've got electrical problems you really don't want to handle, like they say, call Milestone. Call Milestone. Guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. And if you know a homeowner or somebody just moving into a home that could find value in something like this, share this video with them. See if it'll help. If you love this one, check that next one out. I think you'll enjoy it too.